If you don't like fake Hollywood magic but still love supernatural thrillers, then you have to hear what happened behind the scenes of Sinners. So here's the jaw-dropping scoop. While filming Sinners, the cast and crew didn't just to practice hoodoo. They brought in a real hoodoo priestess and performed authentic rituals right on set. Wunmi Mosaku, who plays Annie, confessed she went all in, talking to actual priestesses and learning legit hoodoo traditions. Not the Hollywood stereotypes, but the real spiritual deal. Director Ryan Coogler and the team wanted to get it right, showing hoodoo as a healing ancestral practice, not a spooky villain trick.
I am LL, the seminary dropout, and this will be a review for some. This will be news for others. Sorry for the late drop, but we're going to get right into it. I'm going to try not to pause it too much.
The film dives deep into Southern culture and heritage, using hoodoo as a bridge between past and present. Fans are calling it method acting gone spiritual, and it's sparking huge conversations about representation and respect in film. So next time you watch Sinners, remember, some of that magic, totally real.
Hoodoo is a real practice, and we had a hoodoo consultant, and I spoke to hoodoo priestesses. So it is very much grounded and real and practiced, and I think he's really treated it with as much respect and honor as possible, because I do feel like the Western world media has kind of shown us like a really dark side of voodoo, and I didn't know it was such a healing, loving, spiritual, connected practice. I feel so empowered and inspired by the people I've met in my research. So yeah, she's very real, and that practice is very real. I guess the thing that isn't real is the vampires.
Let's get into it. So many of y'all were telling me, Queen, you gonna love Annie. Queen, you gonna love Annie. And baby, let me tell you, I love me some root work in Annie. And we gonna get into the power of the hoodoo woman of this film. But first...
Before she get into that, see, sometimes you gotta hear from the horse's mouth. It's not about what you think or what you thought, what you believe it is. We hearing from the horse's mouth. An actual woman who practices what they practice on the set. And some believe that their success, let's go ahead and say it. Sometimes, let me just let her cook.
I got to give credit and talk about the deep root working, conjuring, spirit calling star of this film. Sammy, come on to the front, baby. Root worker Sammy, conjurer Sammy, ancestor talking Sammy, medium Sammy, come on to the front, baby. Because see, Sinners is a film about the smokestack twins, but what it really is centered around is this character Sammy, who has the gift of playing the guitar. He has the gift of singing the blues, of music, right? And
before she gets off into her spill, understand that there were live sessions on the set. They were actually practicing these rituals on the set. And for those of y'all who don't know and who might be confused, you're not talking to no ancestors. You're talking to familiar spirits. You're talking to demons who are pretending to be. Let's get that straight.
gift is something that was born into him. He doesn't know why he's drawn to it, but he is. Now, the film opens up in a church with everybody dressed in white, which is hoodoo, okay? Being dressed in white when communing with spirit is a practice our ancestors brought from Africa. Playing the blues as told to Sammy by his elder, Delta Slim, played by the amazing Delroy Lindo. We gonna get into him.
And first and foremost, not everybody, not every black person, contrary to popular belief, was brought over here in chains. Say that one more time. Not every black person was brought over here in chains. And not every black person were practicing this craft, contrary to popular belief.
We gonna get into Delroy. Delta Slim explains to Sammy that Christianity, that religion was taught to you, but this blues was born into you. Our ancestors brought this over and we have held on to it. So Sammy is well aware that the blues is a spiritual practice. It's a
Partially true, but mostly a lie.
historical practice. But the film opens up with his father, the pastor, telling him, you don't need to be playing that guitar. You need to put that guitar down because that guitar calls on devils. But it's not devils that Sammy is conjuring with the guitar, it's ancestors. See,
Oh no, it's devils he's conjuring.
we have to give credit to the guitar in the film. It's more than just an instrument, it's really a character. This guitar is the thread that ties the entire film together, simply because it belonged to the father of Smoke and Stack, the twins. The father is now an ancestor. Sammy has the guitar now. The guitar is made of wood and silver, which were two of the elements, two of the roots that could be used to defeat the enemy, which was the vampires, right? Now, let's tie this all together. When Sammy plays this guitar, he is able to conjure the spirit of ancestors. He is able to lift the veil between spirit realm and physical realm. And this
He's able to lift the veil. But once again, these are not ancestors. These are demons, familiar spirits pretending to be.
is beautifully displayed in that juke joint scene. The beauty of the juke joint scene is that you get to see the ancestors from different cultures dancing on the floor with people of present day as well as future selves. And once again, religion has conditioned, has indoctrinated us to believe that it is evil, it is demonic to connect with ancestors.
Because it is.
It is demonic to have the gift of sight and be able to see the future when you connect with the spirit.
Yes, it is. It's demonic if it's on your own, but if it's of God's accord, if it's under God's authority, it's not. But if it's under something else, exactly what she said, it's demonic.
Realm. But it's quite interesting because all throughout the Bible, people are communing with ancestors. Jesus himself is technically an ancestor.
No, he's not. See? And the downfall of this movie is that it's falsifying a lot of things. Not everybody came over here on boats that are black. Not everybody that's black practiced this ancestor worship or what have you. And
he's communed with all the time. They eat the flesh and drink the blood in representation, and they call it communion, right? But then they tell us that speaking to our ancestors and honoring and venerating our ancestors is evil.
Because that's exactly what the Bible says. It's not about they. It's about what the word says itself.
That is the sin. The indoctrination through colonization is the sin.
And that's how they push the movie on you. That's how they make this pill more digestible. Is, let me give it to you this way. Rat poison, 95% good ingredients. It's got some it's got some good stuff in it. But it's the arsenic that will kill you dead. So they go feed you a bunch of stuff. They go try to lure you to sleep. Come watch this movie because, it's about your ancestors. It's about your ancestors' practices and all this type of stuff. But it's got some arsenic in that. That's go spiritually kill you dead.
Some of your threads, you said you admire the film's visual creativity, but you have issues with the anti-Christian propaganda. Can you
As he should.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, man. So first and foremost, I don't want nobody to get it misconstrued or twisted. It is a phenomenal movie. I saw it twice. I think you gotta take your hat off to Ryan Coogler. You gotta take your hat off to Michael B. Jordan. The doors is opening for Black creatives in filmmaking. Phenomenal.
I hear what you're saying. But is that pandering? I hear what you're saying. But, you know, are you a Christian first? Before?
The thing that I was mentioning specifically for Christians is that oftentimes Christianity and colonization get married together unnecessarily. And I think this film depicts the Christian faith as a colonized white man's religion that is oppressive. Now, did white people use Christianity to oppress Black folks and other minorities in history? Absolutely. But just because it was used as a tool of oppression does not discount its relevance, its power, its potency. It's also something that was created in the Eastern world. It didn't start in Europe. It started in ancient Israel, in the ancient Near East. It went to Ethiopia. It was in Africa before it was in Europe. So that's just some of the stuff I was like, yo, man, I know us as Black people, especially the conscious community, got a lot of issues with Christianity because of that. And it popped up in the movie. You know, there was lines where it was like, blues came from us, unlike that religion that was forced on us. And I'm like, that's not true. There was a forcing of religion, but we had it before they came and forced it on us. And so that's the stuff that I was just like, yo, man, I just want there to be more clarity as it pertains to that.
And so this guy right here is going to go on to say something like, you know, they were just speaking to that particular time frame and what their beliefs were about Christianity. But we know ultimately that gets lost and that doesn't necessarily get translated appropriately. So what you have is a direct attack on. You have a basically overarching message that Christianity is this, Christianity is that, as opposed to, or let's get back to what is ours and not that. I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. What I tried to do is just present to you from the horse's mouth. What I tried to do was present to you from their own accounts, their own stories, their own interviews. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to make stuff up. They're telling you what it is. They're telling you what they did. They're telling you what they believe. And they're telling you what their intentions is. What more can I say? Many are called, few are chosen. Who is faithful? As always, love to you and peace.